When? Okay. Well, once again, I'm broadcasting from Los Angeles. Today's 26th of June. So I welcome you all to my fifth dimensional Academy of Higher Consciousness. So we're here, and it's interesting. We had these technical difficulties this morning, and finally we got over it, and now everything's working. So it's interesting because if you pay attention to life, you will see that most of life is really like that. That you think or you have this notion that you're in control, but in reality, we're not in control of anything. It's just an illusion of control, but it's not real. So this broadcast was very much dependent on whether my computer wanted to work today or not. And my other option was to do it from the phone. So I had to download an app and go through the whole thing. But we didn't have a lot of time to do that. And when things get very tense and you have to do things under pressure and you get to do technical stuff, so you have a tendency to make mistakes. But somehow, through the grace of God, everything started to work again. So we're able to have this broadcast. So it's really good to be in this place of really understanding that we're just influenced by millions of different things that influence our lives every moment and directing events. So we do feel like we're in control and we're the ones who's calling the shots, but that's really not it. That's not true. So we can talk about this later and get more in detail into the different point of views and aspects of how much really in this life I'm in control of anything. So now, before we continue, how about if we do our meditation and we just go into this place of quietness and silence, and then we go from there. So why don't we do a simple meditation for now? Since it's beginning of the summer and the sun is shining, at least in most parts of the world, we want to welcome the arrival of the summer and the sunshine. So why don't you close your eyes and bring your attention either on your third eye or to your heart. And visualize you're standing in the somewhere outside and the sun is shining to your face. Sun is pouring on you. And with every breath you take, when you inhale, just see that the sun, the light is pouring in, coming from your crown chakra, is going down all the way, is pouring in your body, it's cleansing your body. So breathe in, bring the sunlight, the golden light in your body. Just feel it, how it's pouring all over you. It's filling up your whole being with love and light and wisdom and patience. You breathe it in and you breathe it out. You breathe it in and you breathe it out. Just keep breathing. As you're breathing in, just see the sunshine, the energy, the light is pouring in you. It's going through all your being. And as you're breathing out, it's going from your feet, goes back to the planet of Earth. So the light is pouring in your body, in your head, from your crown chakra, is pouring in, filling up your whole being with love, light, joy, infinite wisdom, and it's traveling through your body. And you breathe it out. Now we're going to speak a tongue language as you are in your center and you quiet your mind. We're just going to do the blah, blah, blah meditation. So you just speak a language you've never spoken to just empty your mind. So we start together. Just let the voice come out, let the noise come out. So we begin. Take a deep breath. Stay in your center. Breathe in and see the light is pouring in and it's cleansing you and it's going through your body and it's going through your feet and going down to the planet Earth. Just breathe it in and out. One more time, take a deep breath. And we're just going to do blah, blah, blah. Abba jagada sanana wana gaja jawata kadada javada gajagana wana sanawana kachakata darodiana wa sanawa chakata wata jijuru wa gajana wa gajana jarawa. Abba gada sana wana gada jajana wana yana wa. Zawaga Java Zanavariana, Varagacha wada Kacha, wada Gajana, Variana, Jagada, Avagajazana. Take a deep breath. Stay in your center, stay in where your center. Don't drift away. Don't try not to think or think. Simply stay in your present state that you are and keep your attention on one point. This is not really trying to do anything. You're simply keeping your attention on one point. You're staying focused on one point without really trying. The next meditation is a laughing meditation. We're just going to laugh, and even if you don't feel like laughing, make yourself laugh. So we start. Take a deep breath. And now put your hands on your heart and feel the light that is coming in. The divine light, the sunlight, the sunshine, the love, the light that is pouring in your being, and you're pulling it in your being. Or put your hands on your heart and repeat after me. And when you say these words, really mean it when you say it. So repeat after me. I love myself. I love myself. I love everybody. I forgive myself. I forgive everybody. Because I'm love. Because I'm light. Because I'm God. That's why I love myself. And I forgive myself. I say yes to love. Yes to love. Yes. Yes. Yeah, yeah, yes. Yes to love. So you open your heart and you say yes to love and light. And you allow the love and light of God to pour in you, to cleanse you, to purify you. To transform you. One more time, we're doing the laughing meditation.
Come back to your heart, come back to your center, and just see the light pouring in you. See the love that is present, is here, the love of God, the love of the self, the love of the spirit. It's present, it's here, it surrounds you, it dances around you, it plays around you. This love and this light is yours. The love and light comes from within your own self. It's the holy self. It's your own being. It's your own presence. Your own holy self. So when we come to our own center, we come to this place, which is our own heart, our center. We come to the tranquility.
we come back to the balance of ourselves. We come to silence. Everything has been born from silence. Everything of value is coming from silence. It comes from this place. Comes from a quiet place. Can you hear me? Lift your hand. Yeah, okay, good. Slowly, slowly come back. Slowly, slowly come back. Does anybody have any questions? Anything in specific that you would like to talk about? Yeah? Yeah, Hilda, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. I am so close to just let go, you know. So what can I do to just
Say
jump?
that again. I didn't hear the first part of what you said.
No, okay. I am so close to just let go of my control and everything and just dive, you know. But what can I do
Right.
to just make myself jump into the wellness?
Right. This sense of control is it has a very deep roots.
Yeah.
And its deep roots goes into the very childhood. It goes to this very first imprints of when we were born, and as we're an infant, and it goes back to that time.
Yeah.
And it's connected to fear.
Yeah.
Sense of control comes to fear. The fear of the unknown. The part of the mind that thinks that it needs to know, and it needs to know everything, and is in control of things. So that's where it comes. It's a deeply rooted fear that exists.
Yeah.
So once you realize that this deep fear of this sense of control, that you need to be in control. You have to know what is going to happen. You have to set things up and organize things all the time, so you can predict things.
Yeah.
Coming to, again, this part of the mind. It's an illusion, really. It doesn't really exist. It's an illusion as far as we believe that we have some say in this life. That by really trying to, if I can control things and set them up, then I can get the outcome I want out of it. I'm powerful, I'm strong, I can manifest things in this life, I can create things in this life, and I'm in control. But repeatedly, over and over, life, existence is pointing out to us and showing us that, in fact, we're not in control of anything. And it's very simple for you. You can examine your own life and just see how much of your own life you're in control of. And just pay attention, look at it. How much of the events in life you can control or manipulate. And if you start to examine it, you will see that it's very, very little that it appears that you can control. Very, very little. Because the events, they have the mind of their own, and they happen no matter what we do. So how much of it can we really control of the things happen all the time in our life? So it requires a deep investigation and really paying attention. And it's scary at times. It's very frightening for the mind to be convinced and to realize that it's not in control of anything. So that's where trust comes. Trusting. It's a shift, really. Your journey is a shift from the head to the heart. It's a transition. You're journeying from the world of the mind to the world of the heart. You're traveling, going beyond the mind. We can say you're going beyond the mind into the unknown, or you're going from the head to the heart. You're going from what you know to what you don't know. And this path is scary. It's frightening. It's very frightening for the thinking mind that has been conditioned to believe from childhood. It's been structured in that way from the very childhood, that I'm mighty, I am powerful, and I'm in control, to coming and surrendering at the feet of the heart, of coming to this place that I don't know. I don't know anything. And most of life is unknowable. In this quest, in this really struggle in life, that we're really trying to know things, we don't pay attention to this part, that it's a series of events of failure after failure. You continuously keep failing in trying to figure out the mystery, trying to see if you can understand it, because trying to understand the mystery of life, so then you can manipulate it and get what you want out of it. That's why you're trying to figure it out. So maybe there is a way that I can come to the secrets and mysteries of life, and then I can manipulate it and get what I want out of it. But the mind can never get it. It's never going to get it. I understand it's very difficult for a lot of you to accept it, or your mind comes and says, what do you mean I'm never going to get it? You're never going to get it in that way. You're never going to get it with your mind. It would never happen. And you can continue another 20 years, 30 years, as much time as you have to live, but you will never figure it out in your head. So, because you're journeying from the head to the heart, and your journey is already predestined. You're already on the path. You're already in this shuttle. You've checked in, you got in the shuttle, you said goodbye to all of your earth friends, families. you packed your belongings, everything, and you got into this shuttle. And the shuttle is heading out in the space and is going to another planet. It's going to another civilization. It's going to an unknown destination. And you're already in the shuttle. It's already too late. There is no way back. You cannot go back. It's finished. You know, you have no way of going back. It's too late. The shuttle has already taken off, and it's flying, and it has left the atmosphere of the Earth, and it's in space. Now you can't go back. So yeah, at times you feel, excuse my language, you feel like you're screwed. Because sometimes you say, I want to go back. You say ignorance is bliss. There are times you say, oh my God, I wish I could go back into being sleepy. Being like the rest of the planet, or majority of the planet, the people on the planet of Earth, being in a sleep. And you're kind of like saying, oh my God, okay, I haven't reached the destination, so I haven't come to complete surrender. I'm not there. So your mind is like, what's happening? What am I doing? I'm not advancing. I'm still struggling with all these things. But I got a big taste of love. I got a big taste of God. You already been impregnated by the master, by the master of universe, by the spirit. So now you're having this, you have experienced the love of God. So you're hooked. But you can't, but you're not completely dissolved in it, and you cannot go back. So it's extremely frustrating for the spiritual seeker to be in this in-between period. Because what happens is like, when the spirit, when God chooses you, chooses any of us, and it reveals itself to us, it shows itself to us. Look, you can't choose you want to be a spiritual person. You can't choose the spirit. You can't choose God. You're not the one who chooses it. It's God who chooses you and decides to show herself to you. So what it does, it opens the curtain and it shows and gives you a glimpse of herself. And then you're hooked. You will be like a junkie. Even worse than a junkie. When you fall in love with God, it's worse than being a serious drug addict. It's worse than that, because now you can't stop. You cannot stop till you get to God. You cannot stop till you realize the self. And there's this burning desire inside you. It just starts getting stronger and stronger. This fire in your heart gets stronger and stronger. And there are times you may feel like it's gone down, but it's just ready to burst again. So you have this, like you got pregnant. You are impregnated by the self. And the seed is growing. And it's growing. Now you're starting to show signs of it. And yeah, you go through 9 months of pregnancy, and the more pregnant you get, the bigger you become, the tougher it becomes too. It's uncomfortable. But you're going to give birth. And what you give birth to is you're giving birth to the Superman. You're giving birth to your divine self. And that is the path of not knowing. From knowing to not knowing. From human to superhuman to Superman. And not knowing from this place that you're at is very scary. But the more you do the practice, the more you realize the space, the more you realize that it's the presence of God, it's the presence of the Spirit within yourself. It's here. And that is running the show, is directing your life. And the more you start to notice that part, the more you let go automatically. It's an automatic transition that it happens on its own accord. Because it does kick our butts continuously. What it does is you come and try to manipulate things. You try to set things up, whatever those things are. And then it comes and it pulls the rug from under your feet. And then, boom, you're off balance, or either you fall down or you lose your balance. And it comes back and says, you're not in control. It does that. So what happens is slowly you start to notice, and you notice the connection. You notice your relationship. And the more you start to notice the relationship, the more you begin to trust it. You let the boss to do the things, which it's doing the things in your life anyways. It's just you have this notion, you have this illusion that it's you who's doing it. That's all there is. It's a simple notion that you are the doer, you're the one who's doing things. It's an illusion. It's just non-existing. It never existed. It doesn't exist for anybody on this planet. It's just a notion. It's an illusory sense that I am in control of life, and I'm powerful and I'm mighty. But this notion gets challenged greatly at times, especially when you face danger, when you're in a dangerous situation, when one of your family members, someone you love, is in a very dangerous situation, when you're facing death, when you're facing a situation that you're completely hopeless and helpless. And then you begin to face this thing that, oh my God, you go to prayer, you go to ask for help from another place, whether you're a believer or you're not, that you want help from this other place because there's nothing you can do. And those are the times that it shows you very clearly, in it's shock treatment. But at the same time, it shows you all the time during your daily life that there's so many different events that you have absolutely no control over, and there's nothing you can do about it. You think you're going in this direction, and then you end up in this direction. So if you pay attention to this and really be attentive, you can start to see it. And the more you see it, like right now, Hilda, you brought up this question about how can I let go of my control? Is simply by bringing light into the darkness. And the first step has already taken place. The first step has been that you realize that there is this strong sense of controlling events. And then when they're a little bit out of your hands, you start panicking. And you really worry, what's going to happen, what's going to happen. So you have to know. So then what happens is contraction takes place. You get very contracted because you have to know right now.
Yeah.
Versus operating from this place of not knowing. Operating from this place of trusting that your inner self, your higher self, knows everything that needs to be known. I want to read something to you from the Lightning Notes of Zarathustra. It's called the Enfield Motorcycle. And it's just talks about trust and trusting life. I'm going to find it, see which page it's in. Let's see. And some of you, okay, it's page 32. So I'm going to read this to you. Yeah. So I was in India. This is one of my experiences that happened. I had thousands of different experiences. Some of you know about some parts of my stories, and I've had 5 near-death experiences. And every time, through the grace of Lord, grace of God, grace of the Spirit, somehow, magically, I have been saved. And didn't go to the other side. So when you have 5 near-death experiences and you've been so close to this place and somehow you're saved, then a sense of trust starts to really develop inside you. That you know that there is a power much greater than yourself that is controlling everything and is calling the shots, determining what's next, and is doing things. And I've explained this before to some of you, have heard this from me, like when we're doing events and I'm coming to Scandinavia and I'm doing let's say 5 weeks, 6 weeks of nonstop workshops and events in Norway, Sweden, Denmark, and going to all these different places. A lot of times, there's a lot of details that I just don't know. And I don't know such maybe an event is going to happen, or we set a date and we don't know what's going to happen. There's a lot of things that it's almost impossible for me to figure it out 3 months in advance. We set certain dates that we're going to be doing in this date, but there's a lot of things to fill up the blanks that as I get closer to the actual dates, they come together or they fall apart. And as you know, there's been times that I had to cancel events. And as simple as that, because it's not happening, it's not coming together. The energy that brings something together is not supporting it, and then I have to modify And I gotta let go of my idea of this attachment that I have to the results in my mind. You're attached to a certain result, that you're going to be doing this because you want this to happen. Okay? I'm going to be investing money in this real estate property, in this commercial building or residential building. I'm going to spend money and invest in it because I want it to worth this much money 5 years or 10 years from now. And that's why I'm investing in it. So I want this kind of result. This is what I want out of it. And then 5 years, 10 years from now, when I don't get what I wanted and things don't go that way, I suffer. I'm very disappointed and I go through suffering. So this is the mind has already come and got invested in a kind of result. It's an investment in the mind. You're investing into a certain result that you want something to go your way. And when that thing doesn't go your way, you are miserable. You suffer. So we need to pay attention because it's happening every day. This is an everyday thing, happens all day long, that is happening with simple things and bigger things, more complicated or little investment. Let's say, for example, today we were supposed to have our webinar, and you're really looking forward to our broadcast. You really feel like you need to have this and be together. And something has happened to Zarathustra, and I can't broadcast. And now you're very disappointed, you're very upset that this did not happen. Now, you don't have any controls over what would happen to me, or what would happen, the internet, the technology, the computer, different devices, that they have to function perfectly for us to be able to have this webinar. Or something may have happened to me. Maybe I got sick. Maybe something happened to a family member of mine and I had an emergency and I couldn't do it. And I'm referring to a very simple thing, just a broadcast. But now, if you look at the different aspects of your life, whatever it is, whether it's love, whether it's investments, whether it's your career, your relationship with your friends, family, and you can just see that, or let's say you're planning today to go to the beach. This is your day that you want to go to the beach and lie down by the water and enjoy the sunshine. And you're going with your friend. You're very excited. You and your friend or friends are going to the beach and you're going to have a picnic and you're going to have a great time. And then something happens and you can't go. Your car breaks down. The weather turns. All of a sudden it gets really cold. Or there's a big traffic accident and the highway is closed. Something happens or your friends cannot make it, but you were so excited, and now you get the news that it's not happening. And you get very disappointed and you suffer. I'm talking about little things. You want to pay attention to little things, to big things. And if you do pay attention to it, you see like this is happening all day long, every day. You get to practice every day with little things. And you start to master this let go. You get to master to see your attachments, your mind's attachment to the results that you have invested in a certain result. And you get to see this. You can try this on ordinary everyday life, and you will get better and better at it. And then when the bigger things happen, they have no effect on you. They don't touch you. There's nothing they can do to you. So now I'm going to read this to you. It's called Enfield Motorcycle. I was riding a rented Enfield motorcycle through a forest in India, 50 kilometers beyond the nearest village, when suddenly the bike died. Anyone who has ever driven an Enfield motorcycle in India knows she is a very moody bike. She works when she likes to, and when she doesn't want to run, there is nothing you can do about it. This Enfield motorcycle, it's a British company making this motorcycle that government of India bought it from England somewhere in the 60s, early 60s. And there's been very little improvement in this motorcycle since then. It's still old technology, even if you buy a new one. It sounds great, has a great sound to it. But most of these Enfield motorcycles that they're renting, the rental ones, they're not that good. So they break down a lot. She simply would not start. I tried all the tricks I knew, and after some time, I realized all my efforts were futile. So I let it go and went and sat on a log. I closed my eyes and started to meditate. Then I began to talk to Her Majesty, Lord God. You led me into this forest, and now I trust you will get me out of this place. I didn't have any fears or doubts. I knew from past experience that God would bail me out. Why? Because I trust in God. I trust in that which gives life and takes life. I trust in that which coordinates the entire show called life, called existence. Why? Because I know Her Majesty and I are one. And no matter what, I will be taken care of, even if I have to spend a night in the forest. I knew I was being tested, and now would be a good time to demonstrate my faith and my trust. So I waited for 15 minutes, then 45 minutes, which turned into an hour and a half, and nothing happened. Not a soul came by. By then, the sun was going down, and the kamikaze mosquitoes began their attack. I assessed my situation again. I had no food and very little water left, and not enough clothing to sleep in a cold, moist forest with the possibility of rain. I was too deep into the forest to walk back, and I had no clue how far I would have to walk to get to the other side. So I decided to have another talk with the big boss. I said, okay, if you want me to stay here all night, then I will. But if not, then get me out of here before the sun goes down and the rain starts. So this was my last conversation with God. So at this point, I'm completely surrendered. It's like, okay, if I have to spend the night here, then I'll do. But if you're going to get me out of here, send me help. So I'm surrendered. Suddenly, an Indian man on a motorcycle shows up out of nowhere. I waved him down to stop and help me. The people in India are very friendly by nature. and they will help you if they can. Well, guess what? He just so happened to be an Enfield motorcycle mechanic, and he had his tools with him. In less than 5 minutes, I was back on the bike and driving her out of the forest. Trust, have faith. With faith, you can move mountains and start motorcycles.
Thank you.
Yeah. So every day we're faced and we have to trust we're in a situation and we get challenged. And we continuously we have to make a practice of this, of coming back to this place. Things fall apart, they don't go your way. You're planning on doing something, you're very much excited about it, whatever that thing is. You're going on a trip, it's a love situation, it's an agreement with a friend, it's business, whatever. It's a party you're going to have, you're going to host a gathering at your place, whatever is the situation that you have planned on doing it and now it doesn't happen. You come back to this place again and you look at it, you're a bit disappointed or you're sad, but when you come back to this place and you realize and you see it, look at it that, okay, it didn't go my way and existence wanted it to go in a different direction. And if existence wants this to go in that direction, then it's just, then it's holy, then it's sacred, because life knows better. Existence knows that this is meant to be this direction, and you trust in that. You continuously stay in this place of trusting. I'm not saying that sometimes something doesn't happen the way you want it. I'm not saying you don't put any effort in it. You may have to put some effort to make it happen. But at the end, regardless of how much effort you put into it, and it still doesn't happen, then you just completely surrender to the results. And you come back to this place with the knowing that if this did not happen, means the boss, existence, has a different plan or a better plan for me. And it's not meant to be. For whatever reasons. And you just surrender to that. Then in that case, there's no suffering, because the mind cannot suffer, because the mind has surrendered to whatever is the outcome. And if you make that practice, you will see that you don't suffer any longer. And when you start doing this, making this a practice, you will be amazed how your life starts to transform, how things start. I see it with family and friends around me that we're planning on doing something and that thing is not happening. And I can see how they stress about things and how upset they get and how angry they become. And it's like, it's like I want to reach out to them and show them this other way and help them to live their lives in a much more balanced and relaxed way. But sometimes they're not open to listening to you or hearing you. So I just feel I just say to myself, my God, I feel bad for him. I feel sorry for him. But in the meantime, I understand this is their path and they have to go through what they have to go through. Any other questions? Anything anybody wants to share? If you just have to come to this understanding and knowing, coming to this knowing that Her Majesty, the Supreme Soul, the Divine Self, God, is taking care of everything. God is in charge of everything. The Supreme Soul, the Spirit, the living Spirit, is taking care of everything. And even though in this world that we live in, so many things appear to be screwed up, so many things appear to be unfair, we come to this understanding as spiritual beings that the Grand Kahuna, the boss, the Supreme Soul, is in control of everything, even though things seem to be unfair. That power, that which orchestrating the entire universe, orchestrating all these planets turning around each other and not colliding with one another. The day turns to night, the night turns to day. Seasons come and go automatically. There's nothing you do about seasons coming and going. It's not in your control. Winter turns to summer, summer turns to fall and spring. Winter turns to, spring. Spring turns into summer, summer turns into fall. Everything in order takes place, one step at a time. And one thing follows the next thing. Your body functions in, most of us who are healthy, our bodies functioning in perfection. Millions of different transactions happen in the body that we're not in control of any of it. You're not in control of your heartbeat. You're not in control of your digestion. You're not in control of neurotransmitters sending messages back and forth. You're not in control of your glandular functioning, that your different glands are producing different hormones. We're not, some intelligence is at work here. Something's running the show. And this intelligence was here before you were born. How long have we been here? We've been here for how long? 50, 40, 50, 60, 80 years? 20 years? 30 years? Whatever. And how long are we going to be here? What was running life before you were born? For thousands or millions of years, and intelligence is running this show. Now, we don't even know what is going on outside of our vision. We don't even know what's going on. We have an idea what's going on this planet. We have an idea. We don't even know what's going on this planet. We heard of things, but we don't know. We don't know what's going on deep in the ocean. You don't go there to see what's happening. There is life. There is civilizations. You don't know what's going on inside the earth. There is civilizations there. There is the ants. There are other creatures that live under the ground, and they have their own thing. We have no idea what is happening. Something is running the show. And now if you go outside of this planet, in this vastness of eternal, what is going on in the space? What other civilizations living there? What's going on in other planets? You have no idea. I have no idea. We don't know. But something is running the show. Something knows. And that thing, we trust in that thing. And that thing has brought you here today. That power has brought us together. That power has brought you to this message that you're hearing about trusting, about letting go, about being in your heart, about being quiet, going beyond your thinking mind that is always running, and is driving everyone crazy. This teaching that is so transforming that when we come to the understanding of silence, we come to understanding of this, being silent, being quiet in this place. When you come to this understanding, when you start to practice it, and how it transforms your life, how life starts to change. Where was this teaching before you came to it? What was your life like prior to this energy, to this teaching, to this understanding? And how did you come across this? How did I come across it? I came to my teacher, my Sat Guru, the master in India, when he taught me silence, being silent, being quiet. A silent mind is the key. And as I practiced and realized this, it brought me more and more in my heart. And the more that happened, the more free I became. So what brought you to this teaching? Who was in charge of it? Who is orchestrating this? And I know some people would say, oh yeah, I manifested that because I was asking for freedom. It's my manifestation. I was asking for that. I know maybe someone comes and says that. But something, this power that runs the entire universe has somehow chosen us, and I'm not saying chosen us that we're better or we're worse. Don't go there. Be careful with that. But somehow we have come to this understanding, to this teaching. Somehow the master existence is giving us the pearls, the supreme teaching. We have come to the supreme teaching. And the supreme teaching is to go beyond the thinking mind. This is something that it's very rare to come across, because most teachings are telling you to do something. it gives your mind some food. That to do, you need to do this, you need to do that. So you can manifest this and manifest that. So it keeps you in the duality. You stay in the duality of life. But this teaching is leading you to a silent, quiet mind. No thoughts. No thoughts. Pure silence. Absolutely no thoughts. No thoughts, no problems. Mind comes, problems comes. If you believe the mind is real, if you believe that this is your mind and it's not even your mind, the thoughts, they're just passing thoughts. That's all they are. And if you buy in them, if you buy into them and you pick them up, they get heavy and they drag you down because you get stuck into this whirlpool of worriness, of control, manipulation, greed, suffering. But if you practice pure silence and you're able to go beyond the thinking mind into no thoughts, and then you have come to your heart, to the being. And that's where the being reveals itself to you. You get to see the being, and you see that the being is taking care of everything. And there's nothing to worry about. And the entire existence is in very good hands, regardless of what kind of news you get. That you're taken care of. You're in this shuttle, and God is taking you home. And you can just relax in that. You can just trust in that you're being carried. You're in the palms. You're in the palm, master, and the master is taking you home. Is carrying you home. God is holding you in her arms and is taking you home. And there's nothing you need to worry about. Nothing. You can trust in that. Otherwise, you would have never heard these words. This teaching would have not come to you. You would not be ready for it. You would not have the ears to hear and the eyes to see and the heart to receive. You would have never heard these things. Maybe you would have heard it before, but it wouldn't sink in. But now you're ready to hear it. So you just stay in this place no matter what happens in the other world. No matter what happens. There is nuclear bomb going off. There's riots all over. There's anything is happening. You stay in this place. Your job is to stay in your center and not react. Not react to anything in the world is happening. No matter what is happening, your job is to stay totally centered. No matter what. No matter what is going on outside, no matter how many people are freaking out, no matter how many people are affected by whatever, you only have one job to do, to stay in your center. That's your test. If you want to receive, you arrive to the final destination. Otherwise, you will get involved in the world of mind, which is thoughts, and then you suffer. You will believe it, it's real, because it's not real. I know it sounds strange to you, but this world that you think it's real, it's not real. It's not real because it doesn't stay the same all the time. It's changing all the time. So it's not real. So you want to bring your attention on that which is real within yourself. There's only one thing which is real in this life, and that's your true self. That's the sense of I am, the sense of being, the watcher, the one who is watching the thoughts, the one who's watching the emotions, the one which is watching the body, and the one which is watching the world. The watcher is always here. That one never changes. The sense of being, the presence, that's the only real thing. Everything else is going to come and go in your life, including the meat, including your body. The body is going to die one day too. Everything is going to come and go. So you welcome anything comes, and you welcome anything that wants to go. And you stay in the center. You don't go anywhere. You just stay in the center. Like the Buddha. You stay focused. Comes and goes. So, my dear brothers, sisters, let me see. I am leaving tomorrow to Sweden, and I'm going to see some of you, my beloveds, next week on Monday in Ore, Sweden. We're going to have our retreat, the fifth dimensional quantum healing level 1 to 4. So I'm excited about meeting you all. Some I've seen before, some I'm going to meet for the first time. So it's very exciting. To join us. Congratulations. Anne Therese?
Yes.
Yeah. Very happy that I'm very happy that you're joining us.
Yes, I'm very excited.
I had a feeling that you were gonna come. I didn't want to say anything, but it was like, this is too good. This is too good for you to miss it out.
Yes. I wanted so much, but I didn't have the money. So I borrowed the money.
You pulled it up to pulled it together. You borrowed the money.
Yeah.
Right.
I can't hear you. You fall out.